The Horn of Africa is tense, and Eritrea is at the center of it all. Eritrea is rapidly modernizing its military, upgrading its army, navy, and air force with new tech and more troops. Why now? What does this mean for neighbors like Ethiopia? Is this about security or the start of something more dangerous? Eritrea's military focus is rooted in its history of hard-won independence and national pride. Facing new threats, Eritrea is shifting from sheer numbers to smarter, more advanced forces. This change matters for the entire Horn of Africa and the vital Red Sea shipping lanes. The region is a complex puzzle. Ethiopia, Djibouti, Sudan, and even distant powers like the UAE and Egypt are watching closely. Eritrea's buildup is a direct response to regional tensions, not an isolated move. We'll break down Eritrea's military evolution, the technology it's acquiring, and why the port of Assab is so critical. By understanding these changes and the reactions they provoke, we can glimpse what the future might hold. The stakes are high, and the world is watching. Let's dive into the heart of this unfolding crisis. Eritrea's identity is forged in decades of struggle, 30 years of war for independence from Ethiopia. That legacy shaped a nation always on guard, with national service keeping its army large and its people ready. National service, meant to last 18 months, often stretches for years, fueling a society where nearly everyone has military training. This constant readiness comes at a cost. Fewer workers in business, farming, and healthcare, and a generation of youth seeking opportunities abroad. Critics say the policy stifles the economy and personal freedom, but the government insists it's essential for survival. Eritrea's leaders, many former fighters, see strength as the only guarantee of peace. The country's military-first mindset is deeply ingrained, shaped by border wars and ongoing mistrust with Ethiopia. Today's military buildup isn't new. It's an evolution of a long-standing strategy. Eritrea's self-reliance and discipline are the foundation for its current modernization. The government's quick response to perceived threats is rooted in this history. Understanding Eritrea's past explains why it's so determined to stay strong now. The shadow of conflict still shapes every decision. Eritrea is transforming its military, shifting from sheer numbers to cutting-edge technology. New surveillance and radar systems now monitor land and sea, while the army receives advanced vehicles and long-range artillery. The Navy, crucial for Red Sea security, is being upgraded with better coastal defenses and monitoring tools. Drones are a game-changer, providing real-time intelligence without risking pilots. This modernization is strategic. Technology lets a smaller force punch above its weight. For Eritrea, with fewer resources than Ethiopia, quality trumps quantity. The focus is on making every soldier and system count. Key locations like the port of Assab and the Ethiopian border are seeing the most activity. New bases, fortifications, and communications gear. Eritrea isn't just buying new equipment. It's integrating it into a cohesive defensive plan. The message is clear. Eritrea is ready to defend its interests with modern tools. This shift could alter the military balance in the region. The stakes are higher, and the risks of miscalculation are growing. Eritrea's modernization is a signal to all. It won't be caught off guard. Assab, Eritrea's southern port on the Red Sea, is the epicenter of regional tension. Its location near the Bab el-Mandeb Strait makes it a strategic prize. Control here means influence over global trade. After independence, Ethiopia lost access to Assab, fueling a lasting rivalry. For Eritrea, Assab is both a symbol of sovereignty and a vital military asset. The government is turning Assab into a fortress, new bases, upgraded coastal defenses, and advanced monitoring systems. Eritrea fears Ethiopia might try to seize the port to regain sea access. By heavily fortifying Assab, Eritrea aims to make any attack too costly to consider. The port's economic potential is huge, but for now, its main role is military. International powers like the UAE have used Assab as a base, highlighting its global importance. If peace returns, Assab could become a trade hub again, but today it's a frontline stronghold. The port is the crown jewel Eritrea is determined to protect. Any move against Assab could ignite a wider conflict. The world's eyes are on this narrow stretch of coast. Assab's fate could shape the region's future. Eritrea's military surge is a direct response to Ethiopia's growing ambition for sea access. Ethiopia, with over 120 million people and a booming economy, is landlocked, relying on Djibouti's ports at great cost. Ethiopian leaders have become vocal, calling sea access a matter of national survival and eyeing Assab as the solution. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's 2023 speech about historic rights to the Red Sea alarmed Eritrea, sounding like a threat. Ethiopian military visits near the Eritrean border and the failed Somaliland port deal only heightened tensions. With other options closed, Ethiopia's focus returned to Eritrea and Assab. Eritrea sees these moves as more than talk. It fears real action is coming. The government's answer: rapid modernization and fortification, especially around Assab. Eritrea wants to deter any Ethiopian attempt to seize its territory. The buildup is a warning. Any attack will meet fierce resistance. The timing is no accident. It's a direct response to Ethiopia's rhetoric and maneuvers. The region is on edge, with both sides preparing for the worst. The next move could decide peace or war. The stakes have never been higher. Ethiopia is watching Eritrea's military buildup with growing concern. The two countries' relationship is fraught. Recent allies against Tigray, now rivals once more. Ethiopia insists its push for a port is economic, not aggressive, but its actions near the border tell another story. Eritrea's new technology and fortifications force Ethiopia to rethink its military strategies. Both sides are locked in a tense standoff, each move fueling the other's suspicions. The fragile peace in Tigray adds another layer of complexity, with both nations accused of meddling in each other's affairs. Proxy conflicts and mutual interference make the situation even more volatile. Intelligence gathering and military posturing are constant. The risk of miscalculation is real and dangerous. The region is a powder keg, waiting for a spark. Eritrea and Ethiopia's standoff is drawing in the entire region and beyond. Djibouti fears losing its lucrative port business if Ethiopia gains access to Assab. Sudan, already unstable, worries about refugees and spillover from any conflict. Middle Eastern powers are deeply invested. The UAE has used Assab as a base, and Egypt is aligning with Eritrea against Ethiopia over Nile water disputes. Egypt's support for Eritrea adds another layer to the rivalry, while the UAE wants stability to protect its investments. Other players, Turkey, China, Saudi Arabia, are urging diplomacy, knowing a war would disrupt global trade and create a humanitarian crisis. The Red Sea's security is a global concern. Any conflict here could have far-reaching consequences. The Horn of Africa is a web of shifting alliances, with every country watching for advantage. International pressure for peace is mounting, but the situation remains volatile. The risk of escalation is real, and the world is on alert. Regional interests are colliding, making compromise difficult. The outcome will shape not just Africa, but global trade routes. The stakes are truly international. The Red Sea is a lifeline for global trade, and its security is everyone's business. Eritrea's military buildup on this vital waterway has raised alarms worldwide. More warships, advanced defenses, and surveillance increase the risk of accidents or escalation. Even a minor incident could disrupt shipping and trigger a wider conflict. Non-state actors, pirates, militants, could exploit any chaos, making the region even more dangerous. International naval patrols face a tougher job if war breaks out. Eritrea claims its buildup is defensive, meant to deter aggression and keep the peace. Others fear an arms race, with every country scrambling to keep up. The Red Sea's stability now hangs on diplomacy, not just military might. The world needs calm heads to prevent disaster. The balance is fragile, and the clock is ticking. The Horn of Africa stands at a crossroads. Eritrea's military modernization is a bold response to Ethiopia's ambitions, centered on the fortified port of Assab. This show of strength could deter conflict and force a return to diplomacy, if both sides step back. A stable Eritrea might help secure the Red Sea, benefiting the whole region. But there's a darker path, an arms race, rising mistrust, and the risk of accidental war. Any conflict would be catastrophic, with consequences far beyond Eritrea and Ethiopia. The next months are critical. Will leaders choose dialogue or confrontation? The world is watching, hoping for peace. Eritrea's new military might has changed the game. Only time will tell if it's made the region safer or more dangerous.